Welcome to the Quantanix YouTube channel. This is our new podcast series, NextLayer, a technological podcast.
Welcome to NextLayer, a future worth understanding.
And that title, A Future Worth Understanding, really captures what we're trying to do here, doesn't it?
It really does.
This first deep dive, it's all about laying the groundwork, setting the stage for what NextLayer is, all about.
Exactly. Think of it like this. We're exploring technology's evolution, the next layers, so to speak.
Right.
We'll be looking into things like AI, obviously, it's everywhere, but also quantum computing.
Which is still pretty mind-bending for most people.
Definitely. And robotics, how they're becoming more common, cybersecurity, which is, well, crucial.
Absolutely critical.
And importantly, digging into the ethics, the implications of all this innovation.
Yeah, because you hear these terms thrown around all the time, right? AI, quantum, bots. But really getting what they mean, their actual significance, that could be tough.
It can.
And that's really a big part of why we wanted to start NextLayer, to sort of bridge that gap.
To make it more understandable.
Yeah, take these really complex shifts in tech and break them down. Explore what they mean for everyone, whether you're deep in tech or not.
And it's interesting, so many people feel like they're just trying to keep up. Like the future's speeding towards us.
It definitely feels that way sometimes.
Oh, our goal here with NextLayer is to encourage a bit more critical thinking about it all.
Right.
To raise awareness, sure, but also to spark real conversations about the future we're actually building together.
So who do we think will get the most out of this? Who are we talking to?
Well, definitely tech enthusiasts, people already curious and wanting, a bit more depth than the headlines.
And students, too, maybe.
Yeah.
Trying to get clear on these emerging fields.
Absolutely. Students trying to get that conceptual clarity, and futurists, thinkers, people interested in how everything connects.
The cross-disciplinary angle.
Exactly. And also, importantly, the people actually making this stuff.
The developers, the engineers.
Yes. Helping them think about the ethical side, the wider impact of their work.
But really, when you boil it down, it's for anyone who just wants to feel a bit more informed, a bit more empowered in a world that's changing so fast because of technology.
It's not just niche stuff anymore, is it?
Not at all. It's touching our lives more and more directly.
And that's where it gets really fascinating, looking at the potential impact. You mentioned AI, quantum computing, add biotech to that mix. These things, they could really change some fundamental parts of our lives.
Like what, specifically?
Well, think about jobs, employment, the legal systems we rely on, personal privacy, a huge one.
Always a concern.
And even, how we understand ourselves, human identity.
Wow. When you put it like that, understanding this stuff goes beyond just being interesting.
It's becoming vital, really vital, because there's a risk involved in not understanding.
A danger of ignorance, you could say.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. One thing that came up in our research is this idea that, well, if you don't grasp these tools, you're potentially more open to manipulation.
Right.
You become less of a shaper of the future and more just a consumer, swept along.
Exactly. And we don't want you, the listener, to just be swept along. We want you to feel like you can navigate this, maybe even help steer things a little.
Which means engaging with the tricky parts, too. The societal consequences, the economic ones.
Like the whole debate around surveillance tech, facial recognition, that tension with privacy.
That's a big one. Or automation and what it means for jobs.
Yeah.
Or AI making decisions that humans used to make. How do we handle that?
And thinking bigger picture, there are these economic shifts too,
Yeah.
right? Like decentralized systems, blockchain.
Definitely. And AI-driven economies, they all have huge potential, huge promise.
But also challenges.
Exactly. That duality, exploring both sides, that's really central to what we want to do with NextLayer.
Okay, so looking ahead, what kind of topics can people expect us to dig into?
Oh, we've got quite a list shaping up. We're definitely going to tackle artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
The sort of holy grail of AI.
You could say that. What it is, the race to build it, and the huge questions it brings up about, machine consciousness.
Heavy stuff.
It is. And then there's quantum computing. We touched on it, but we'll go deeper into how it might solve problems current computers just can't handle.
And robotics. Automation in our homes, workplaces.
Yes, how that's playing out in everyday life. Plus, cybersecurity, digital resilience. Can't ignore those.
No way. And what about how humans and AI might work together? Collaboration.
That's a key area, which leads naturally into things like brain-computer interfaces, BCIs.
Neuralink and similar tech.
Exactly. Neurotechnology. It's moving fast. And threading through all of this will be ethics, surveillance, digital rights, data privacy. Those are constant themes.
Feels like they have to be.
They do. We're also planning to look at climate tech, AI's role in sustainability.
That's critical.
And maybe a bit further out, space tech. Interplanetary infrastructure. Sounds like sci-fi, but
People are working on it.
they really are. And underpinning it all is that fundamental question, tech and humanity. Is it coexistence? Is it conflict?
So how will these deep dives actually work? What's the format?
We're thinking episodes around, say, 15 to 25 minutes, give or take.
Keeping it digestible?
Right. And we'll mix it up. Some might be more focused talks, just us exploring a topic. Others might involve interviews with experts.
Yes, insights.
Yeah. Maybe some narrative explorations, too, trying to tell the story behind the tech, blending that storytelling with the science.
Trying to be deep, but still approachable.
Exactly. Deep yet digestible. And we're aiming for a regular schedule, weekly or bi-weekly, so you can consistently tune in.
And what makes NextLayer, different? What's our unique angle?
I think it's that commitment to connecting the tech stuff, what it does, with the human context, the why it matters.
So not just the specs, but the significance.
Precisely. We want to offer critical insight, not just, repeat the hype you hear everywhere else.
And the name NextLayer that ties into this.
It does. It's a metaphor, really, like peeling back layers, looking beyond the surface of the technology.
Getting past the buzzwords.
Exactly. Getting past just AI or quantum as labels.
Yeah.
And digging into the deeper questions underneath. The philosophy, the ethics, the human truths embedded in it all.
So each deep dive is like uncovering another layer.
Another layer of understanding, yeah. But also, we think, another layer of responsibility, because the more you understand,
The more you need to think carefully about the future we're building.
right.
Can you give some real-world examples we might touch on?
Sure. We could look at, say, OpenAI's roadmap towards AGI, or what Neuralink is doing with brain-machine interfaces.
Boston Dynamics and their robots always get attention. Human-robot interaction.
Definitely. Or the global race in quantum, Google, IBM, China, others.
Smart city projects, Singapore, Toronto.
Yeah, those raise fascinating questions about data and city life. And then the tougher stuff, too, like AI and warfare, cyber defense.
AI-generated content, deepfakes.
All on the table. These are the kinds of specific things we can use to explore the bigger themes.
And it feels like the responsibility here isn't just on the people making the tech, the developers.
No, not at all. It's on the users, too, right? Our choices, our data, it all feeds into how this evolves.
And maybe a role for educators, thinkers, artists as well, to help us make sense of it all.
Absolutely. Interpretation, sense-making, that's vital.
Which kind of brings us back to our main point for you, listening right now. You don't need to be an engineer, you don't need to be a coder to have a say in the future.
But you do need to understand what's shaping it, or at least have a sense of it.
We all have a stake in this, everyone.
Oh,
And the goal really should be that technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
well said.
Okay, that feels like a good place to wrap up this introduction to NextLayer.
Thank you, and we will meet in the next episode. Stay tuned and like and subscribe Quantanix YouTube channel.